Assalamu alaikum and welcome to weekly Kashmir University Video Digest Quest. First, let's have a look on the main attractions of this edition. Transit of Mercury event held at University. 2-week training program on field theory commences. And German delegation interacts with students. Now let's move to the details with your host Umaira Hassan. The Department of Physics, in collaboration with Public Outreach and Education Committee of the Astronomical Society of India, organized Transit of Mercury event at the university. 2 astronomical telescopes were fitted in the lawns of the university to show the wave to the keen observers. The event was initially to be held from the lawns of Convocation Complex, but the bad weather acted as spoil spot and the venue was changed. The event was then webcast live from the Rajya Sabha TV to the audience in the Ibn Khaldun Auditorium. Around 300 astronomers, academics and students watched the event unfold.
के बीच में नहीं आ सकता क्योंकि उसका जो ऑर्बिट है वो पृथ्वी के ऑर्बिट से बड़ा है तो वो कभी नहीं आएगा.
The event coincided with the 34th annual meeting of the ASI, which was inaugurated by the Chancellor and the Governor, Mr. N.N. Vora, in the Convocation Complex. Head Department of Physics, Professor Manzoor Ahmed Malik, highlighted the role of India in the field of astrophysics.
The first multi-wavelength astronomy satellite, AstroSat, was launched by Indian Space Research Organization in September 2015. Well after the last ASI meeting held in Pune. So, in an ASI meeting, this is the first time that the AstroSat science results are being discussed. So, that's again another first. All of you are aware of the numerous achievements of ISRO that has placed India well ahead of all Asian countries in space exploration. India has the distinction of being the first country to reach the orbit of Mars in its debut attempt.
Terming the present era as the golden age for Indian astrophysics, President ASI Professor Ajit Khembhavi talked about recent achievements and future plans of astrophysics.
There is unbelievable amount of participation in very large projects. So India is now an esteemed member of the 30-meter telescope project of the square kilometer array and is going to set up a LIGO India detector here on our own soil. There are a number of other projects. AstroSat is up in space, thanks to ISRO, and all the people who made the beautiful instruments for it. There is another satellite called Aditya, which will sit at the distant Lagrangian point of the solar system and observe the sun using an amazing array of instruments. The Indian-based Neutrino Observatory is expected to go into action quite soon.
Chairman Indian Space Research Organization Dr. Kiran Kumar was the chief guest on the occasion, talked about launching of AstroSat by the ISRO.
ISRO also has been trying to put in observatories in space, and one of the examples is what was mentioned, AstroSat, which was put into orbit last year. What space provides for observations, celestial observations beyond Earth, is it takes away the atmosphere in between and gives you tremendous opportunity to improve the observation capabilities. And in the country, this AstroSat, what has been put into orbit, has seen the development of various instruments built by our academic institutions, whether it is Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Inter-University Center for Astronomy and Astrophysics. What we intend to provide for this AstroSat is also opportunity to the research community by offering them specific observation time, which very soon is going to be made available.
The Vice Chancellor, Professor Khurshid Iqbal Andrabi, presented a brief profile of the former head of physics department, Professor Farooq Ahmed, for his important contribution in the field of astrophysics.
Department of Physics at the University of Kashmir, like other science departments, is a very vibrant department that has a legacy of astrophysics that dates back to early 80s. And the legacy is set forward by Professor Farooq, who himself is a member of International Astronomical Union, from 1985, started doing excellent research in astrophysics with some of the pioneering publications in Astrophysical Journal and so on and so forth. He was the one who established collaborations with Cambridge and the rest of the country to bring all astronomers of the country and the world together. I must urge all his colleagues and his students who are taking his legacy forward to come up to his expectations and take this mission forward.
Professor Andrabi, while congratulating the Department of Physics for being able to organize the 34th annual meet, deliberated on the role of the ISRO in the field of astronomy.
Annual meeting of Astronomical Society of India doesn't get any better to have the man himself, ladies and gentlemen, the ISRO chairman, to be the chief guest of the occasion. Professor Kumar has been an eminent scientist and an engineer par excellence. With his contributions, perhaps he was instrumental, if I'm correct, in design and development of thermal infrared spectrometer and methane sensors that saw the success of the Mars mission of India, the Mangalyaan. We're also honored to have with us Professor Kambave, who himself is a Hari Om Award winner and the member of the 2 Academies of Sciences, and a man who leads Virtual Observatory Mission of India. Professor Manzoor Malik, I must congratulate him and his colleagues for the work well done to put this all together. He must have received his appreciation yesterday as I saw the success of this meeting well before it commenced, with the kind of enthusiasm shown by students who were here in overwhelming numbers to see the transition of Mercury.
The Chancellor and the Governor of the state, Mr. N.N. Vohra, in his speech hailed the university authorities for organizing such type of scientific meetings.
I compliment once again Professor Andrabi, Professor Manzoor Malik and all his colleagues for having taken the initiative of organizing this meeting. But I'm very happy today that Professor Andrabi, in the last 2 years, has now once again started giving the impetus, the incentives which are required to move science forward and for the university to achieve those levels of excellence which we rightly deserve.
He expressed confidence that these types of conferences would play an important role in giving the university a worldwide recognition in the field of science.
This particular important scientific event is also associated with certain outreach activities, programs, which will benefit the students of Kashmir, the faculties, the teachers in our schools and colleges in the valley. A number of telescopes have been gifted, and certain educational workshops are being carried out, which will enlarge awareness, increase interest, and make a growingly larger number of our young boys and girls come forward to pursue the scientific stream. And I'm sure that this event, this important scientific event, will also contribute to furthering the interest and awareness of our students and even our faculties to pursue new and fresh projects which will take our university further afield in the entire arena of scientific achievements.
On the occasion, the ASI honored former head of physics department, Professor Farooq Ahmed, Associate Professor of Physics Department, Dr. Nasir Iqbal conducted the proceedings of the function, while as Dr. Sajjad Masood proposed the vote of thanks. Later speaking to the quest team on the sidelines of the function, various members from the ASI and other scientific institutions talked about the importance of these events.
34th astronomical meeting is happening here in Kashmir University, and it is coinciding with the event called as Transit of Mercury, in which Sun, Mercury and Earth will come in a single line which makes us to see Mercury passing over the sun. It happens very rarely. Here students are so much interested, but I realized that very few students have seen through telescope, so it was a good opportunity for them and they were very happy. And so we were able to demonstrate the working of telescope and why we use telescope, and also gave some information about how we build the telescopes and all.
Kashmir being so north in the country, sunset happens here much later than most parts of India, which means that you can see the transit for a longer duration from Kashmir than from most parts of India. So we've been doing a lot of programs to make sure that people across the country could see the transit properly. As you might know, Mercury is a very, very small object as seen from Earth, and therefore you need a small telescope to see the transit. Most people in India do not have access to telescopes, and therefore we've been trying to facilitate various ways of people to access telescopes.
We did it from the rooftop of the Allama Iqbal library, where we had set up a telescope and a camera attached to that, along with a laptop which would be used to take pictures of the transit on the sun, and then it would transmit it to the internet for everyone to see. We got a lot of support from that, and the final outcome of this was that we had a cloudy sky, but the students of the Kashmir University and many other places could see the transit through a webcast.
The Department of Mathematics, in collaboration with National Centre for Mathematics, Mumbai, organized a 2-week training program on field theory. The inaugural function was held in the EMMRC auditorium titled Instructional School for the Teachers on the Theory 2016. Head Department of Mathematics, Professor Sharifuddin Pirzada, while welcoming the guests, said that such workshops play an important role in shaping academic attitudes of the students.
We have been trying all the 60-70 years to make improvements with respect to teaching, the standard of teaching, and the quality research. We have been successful to some extent, but we cannot say this is all. Still, we have to do much more work in this direction. And secondly, the department or the university is always known by its quality research. In that direction, we have also made several improvements. But still I say this is not enough. We have to do a lot more things.
Convener of the workshop, Professor M.A. Sufi, opined that due to technological innovations, the role of teacher has become challenging.
If the student is good, if he is motivated, so what he does, before he goes to the class next day, he accesses a YouTube lecture by a distinguished mathematician in Harvard or Princeton. So it gives him some insight into that subject. So the next day he comes, and the teacher, who knows that this student knows more than I know, the teacher has to now act out of the skin in order to satisfy his curiosity. So the job of the teacher becomes far more difficult here in this case. A teacher has to be on his toes now, provided of course the student works hard.
Professor S.A. Katre from Pune University highlighted the role of NCB Mumbai.
It is not necessarily related to the current teaching that they are doing, even at the undergraduate level. Many teachers are teaching at the undergraduate level, and our students, they are coming from UG only. Therefore, if the teachers know more about the subject, and in fact, whatever they have done earlier in their MSc, that is revived, and the recent developments are known to them, or even if they had done a specific course earlier, it is, one looks at it from a different angle, from different people, that is certainly beneficial to them. And in fact, the experience that they have gained while teaching, that itself is helpful to them to learn more things. That is the idea of these ISTs.
Dean Academic Affairs Professor Muhammad Ashraf Wani said that teachers should be objective while assessing students and vice versa.
We do for some time assess the teachers, but what is the follow-up action? There is no follow-up action. Even if somebody's performance is not satisfactory, no action is being taken unless there is accountability, unless the performance as a teacher is linked with promotion, unless the performance of the teacher is linked with the release of increments, unless finally it is linked with showing the door to the incompetent teacher who is simply ruining the career of our future. Till then, you should not expect the things will set right.
Senior Assistant Professor of Mathematics Dr. M.A. Khande conducted the proceedings of the function, while as Dr. M.H. Gulzar proposed the vote of thanks. The training program is aimed to help college and university teachers to know about the latest development in the field theory. A German delegation under the leadership of Director DFG New Delhi interacted with the students of Kashmir University at the committee room. Professor G.M. Shah, while introducing guests to the students, opined that Germany should start collaborative program with Kashmir University.
In these programs, we have to some extent succeeded in having these programs with so many institutions within the country and outside the country. Since the delegation from Germany is here, it will be a great honor for us if we have some sort of collaborative program, say by way of exchange of students, research scholars, faculty members from Germany to this place and from our students to that place.
Director DFG New Delhi, Dr. Alexander Hansen, highlighted the importance of research and teaching in the field of education.
The idea of bringing it together, research and teaching in a university, like it is practiced here, is something which basically I think was initiated originally from Alexander von Humboldt. So this is something which is very important, because if you are in a university, if you are not doing research, then it's more or less like a school. Yeah? And you're basically providing knowledge which is still maybe important, but it may not be the newest knowledge. Therefore, it is very, very important to do this together. And that is something what the German Research Foundation is supporting.
He said that the efficiency in the field of research and generation of ideas plays a pivotal role in any society.
In Germany there are 80 million people, and in China there are 1.3 billion people. Then this tells you something about efficiency. And therefore this can only be done if new ideas are developed. Because what the Chinese are doing, they are copying things and maybe refining it. You also can make money with that. But Germany cannot afford that. If we would copy things, we would not go nowhere and we would be a poor country. So what we have to do is new ideas. For new ideas, you need to have an excellent education and you need to have an excellent research base.
Dean Research Professor Sheikh Javed Iqbal introduced various research centers of the university to the guests.
We have some major research programs in cancer biology and also in geology. We have some very active research group in physics and also in other areas. Let me also mention here that last year we have registered some 400 students for a PhD program. Out of that, I'm very glad to say to everyone, out of that 250 are females. These things doesn't happen even in the Europe or United States, and so this is something I'm proud about of this university.
Later, students interacted with the German delegation.
As part of learning exercise here that we conducted just now, what are the areas wherein you think Indian startups can learn from German experience?
Cultural Officer Mr. Shahid Ali Khan proposed the vote of thanks. With this, we come to the end of today's program. In case you have missed some part of the program, log on to emmrckashmir.com, where you can watch whole episode. Send us your suggestions at our email address quest@emmrckashmir.com. Before I take your leave, here are a few words of wisdom. You are entitled to your own opinions, but not to your own facts. That was all for today. See you next week with new latest happenings. Till then, take care of yourself.